Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Pamela and today we are going to be talking all about the great lock-in. So this is a trend that I've been seeing a lot and pretty frequently over on TikTok, and especially around this time of the year. A lot of people call it a winter arc era, which I did do a YouTube video about last year, but in today's video, I want to talk about how September to December is the prime time and the big season of this great lock-in that everyone is talking about, which basically means you are choosing to go all in on your goals, you're shutting out distractions, and you are truly focusing on your goals before the year ends. And it's really crazy, like I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, which is the fact that this is the last quarter of the year already. Like we are truly in the final stretch, and the truth is that what you do now can really set you up for massive success before the year officially ends. So if there's still things that you want to focus on or things that you want to do, or if there's something that you feel like you still want a little bit of more time to work on, you can still do it. We still have time. So in this video, I want to share 6 very powerful and attainable tips that are actionable so that you can really lock in, eliminate distractions, and also dedicate the remainder of this year to continuing to become the best version of yourself. Tip number 1 is get clear on your vision. This is always going to be the first tip when I make these kinds of reset videos, because it's really important to figure out what is your vision, what are the next steps going forward, and what can you look back on that you want to improve. So if there's some things that you had written down in January that you feel like you still haven't gotten into and it's getting towards the end of the year, write down what is it that starting today from now until the end of December are the things that you want to achieve. And for me, I like to categorize it. I like to do my personal life, I like to do my career, I also like to do social media, as well as my financial goals, health and wellness. There are so many different categories in my life that I like to break down my goals by. So for my personal life, I would be like, do I want to get more books in? Do I want to read more? For my health and wellness section, do I want to walk more? Do I want to start looking at different studios to sign up at something new? For my financial section, do I want to write down a specific amount of money it is that I want to make? Whatever it is, I break down my life into these different categories, and then I write down my goals based on those different categories. And I don't overwhelm myself and write down a million different things in each category. For health and wellness, I'm not going to write down 15 different bullet points. For financials, I'm not going to write down 8 different bullet points. I'm really just going to be simple and basic, and I'm going to make it maybe 2 or 3 things for each and make it realistic. Because when you try to write down a bunch of different goals and go into overload and you try to get it done within 2 or 3 months, you are just going to hit burnout even faster, and it's not going to work. So what's best that you should do is make these top priorities, make these different sections if that's what works for you. Don't overwhelm yourself, and then have this action plan or this roadmap of what you can do to try to get there. And we're going to talk a little bit later about doubling down on discipline and all of those kinds of things. But I feel like when you have these goals written down and you really finalize your vision and what it is that you want to work towards from now until the end of the year, it can be a lot more easier for you to realize, okay, this is exactly what I'm working towards, this is what I want to do, and this is my timeline. When you simplify it, it's going to make it so much easier for you. Because I know in the beginning of the year, we all make these vision boards and these manifestations and all these kinds of things. But as the months go on, if you don't keep track of it, if you don't keep it visible and look at it, you are going to get lost with it. You're not really going to focus on it as much, which is why I always say, if you make a vision board, have it in front of your desk, make it your phone wallpaper. You need to keep your goals and your vision and what it is that you're working towards very frequent in your life. You have to be looking at it or thinking about it all the time so you can keep that momentum up. I know for me, when I go on walks, I'm always listening to podcasts or audiobooks or YouTube videos and interviews because I always want to continue to learn. Instead of scrolling, I like to go on Substack and read things that people are writing about or see if there's anything that I should be catching up on. I'm always trying to be a better version of myself in little ways, and by upgrading already what you do every single day and adding that into, like I said, your routines, it just makes it easier for you to stay on top of your goals. I already go on walks and I already get my health and my wellness in, I get my steps in. So while I do that, why not listen to an audiobook at the same time? If I'm getting ready in the morning and doing my skincare, why not throw on an interview or listen to something that's going on? It's really important, like I said, keep your goals visible, but you have to get clear on your vision. What is it that you are working towards, and what can you do every day to get towards that? Tip number 2 is build a lock-in routine. So this basically means set a routine for your morning and your night. In the morning, it is really important that you set yourself up the night before. Your night routine is everything. If you go to sleep late, you're not going to wake up early. Most people operate that way. I know I do. There's some people that can go to sleep at like midnight, 1, 2 a.m. and they're still going to wake up early. I personally am not that kind of person, but setting yourself up the night before, so essential because it really sets you up for the next day. And with your morning routines, have a ritual that really aligns with your goals, whether it's reading a few pages of a book that you want to read, whether it is journaling a new prompt or something that can get your mind flowing, get those creative juices going, whether it's doing a workout immediately and getting movement first thing, or even just planning, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do this week? Like having this morning ritual that aligns with everything we talked about in tip number 1 is really going to help start building that foundation and start building that routine towards getting to where it is that you want to be. And another one of my favorite tips that I also mentioned is to time block your day to avoid wasted hours. I am the biggest fan of time blocking, which basically means lock in certain hours of the day to just focusing on specific things. So I like to maybe set a timer for an hour or 2 hours if I want to plan out content for the next few weeks. If I need to go downstairs and clean the living room or clean the bedroom, I'll set a timer, 15-20 minutes, tidy up a little bit, put things away. Are the shoes left outside? Put the shoes in the closet. Using timers can really make such a difference because you are literally like blocking out certain parts of the day of what it is that you have to get done into a limited amount of time. So you are literally telling yourself like, I have to get this thing done, but I'm going to try to get it done in this allotted amount of time. And it doesn't have to be 15-20 minutes. Like you can set an hour timer, a 2-hour timer, but by time blocking and by really going all in on something for a certain period of time, you will be so surprised on how much you can actually get done. Like when I want to film a YouTube video, I'll set a timer for an hour and a half or maybe an hour. And I'm like, let's try to get a video down. Let's try to get 2 videos down. And by doing that, like I said, it really helps you super lock in because you have that timer going and it's basically like a race against the clock. I also recommend choosing daily non-negotiables that really help you move forward. So a non-negotiable is basically just something that like you have to do, you cannot live without essentially, or that you have to do every single day. I know for me, one of my daily non-negotiables is making my iced coffee using my espresso machine. Like that's just one of my favorite little treats that I do every day. But when you are building this lock-in routine, have a daily non-negotiable that you need to clock in and do every single day, whether it's reading for 10 minutes before going to bed, whether it's journaling for a whole page and letting your thoughts out from the day, whatever it is, have something that you do every single day. And not every day I'm going to be able to do all of them, but by just having either 1 or 2 that you do every single day, I feel like that can really help you with that consistency mindset. And also do some end of day reflection, like when you're in bed or when you're at your desk or when you're about to clock out from whatever it is that you're doing, have a end of day reflection and just be like, did I get what I wanted to do done? Did I get my goals done? Did I check off this? Did I check off that? Like whether you're a physical paper and pen person and you write down all the things it is that you want to do, or whether you're someone that uses the Notes app or Asana or Notion, like look over all the things you wrote down in the morning or in the beginning of the week and did you get it done? And if you didn't, figure out tomorrow how you can lock back in and how you can get those things done. Tip number 3, which is probably going to be one of my favorite tips throughout this video, is missing out on temporary fun for permanent stability is not a loss. And I feel like I have to mention this in this video because a lot of people want instant gratification. They want things to happen overnight. They want the overnight success, the millions of followers, the thousands of dollars hitting their bank account. Like that is not realistic. And for the people that does happen to, it's probably not going to last a long time unless you take care of it. But the truth is, like when you miss out on things temporarily in the moment, not going out with your friends all of the time, not spending money on the stupid things or always buying out, like whatever it is, like when you miss out temporarily on these things, it is not going to be forever. And that's what I always tell myself. Like I am truly in one of the busiest seasons of my entire life right now, probably until the new year. And I'm so grateful because I'm truly in an era and a season right now that I've been praying for. And it is just so amazing because like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the last quarter of the year is always really great because so much can happen and things can really turn around fast. Like you could have had the worst beginning of the year, but I promise you the end of the year, things can turn around so quickly, like right before your your eyes. And this actually happened to me last year. I don't know if you guys have watched like some of my other previous videos, but I've mentioned before that I had a really cool campaign shoot that I did last year. I was flown out to LA, and it happened right after a really like weird funk that I was going through, and I was just praying and literally crying every night because I was like, I need change, I need something to happen. And that was the one thing that like changed my life essentially and made me realize like anything can happen. You just have to keep going and keep doing things even when you're not seeing anything happening from it. It doesn't mean that right now it's not going to happen. It can happen later down the road. It could happen a week from now, 2 months from now, a year from now. Like, you just have to keep going. And so that's why I'm going to say like missing out on things temporarily does not mean it's going to be forever. You're locking in right now, you're sacrificing, you're doing all of these things right now. It does not mean that in the future you're not going to be able to enjoy yourself. So eliminate certain distractions, eliminate that screen time, delete unnecessary apps, or set limits for yourself, and try to do things that are going to be for the betterment of you. Have a workspace or an area or an environment that helps you focus, that helps you stay locked in essentially, and you're not just always going to give in. Like, it's okay to lay down on the couch and rot away and scroll for a little bit, but after that, like, make sure that you remember what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're working towards. Like, when you mindlessly scroll on social media, when you are on your phone for hours, like, realize that sometimes that's not good for you, and that can also be really detrimental to your mental health. And when I realized that, like, as a content creator myself, that I should not be scrolling and being online that much, and I swapped it with listening to podcasts and reading books or listening to audiobooks, my mindset and my life completely changed, because I was like, wait, like, I should not be scrolling this much. It's not good for me. I can replace that with something that's better for me. Be intentional with your life, with everything it is that you do, from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, the outfits you take out in the morning, the things that you're planning on doing, the way you speak to yourself, the way you speak about people around you. Be intentional. Say yes to things that are going to align with this season of focus it is that you are entering, because like I said, missing out on things temporarily is not going to be the end of your life. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world. You're just doing it for right now, because you know later down the road you are going to have an exceptional, amazing life. All of your dreams are going to come true, but you just have to lock in and know the difference between, should I do this or should I do something else that's going to benefit me more later. Number 4 is double down on discipline, not motivation. So there is a really big difference between discipline versus motivation. Discipline is when you are doing something based on, I have to do this, it's my mindset. Discipline is the thing that's going to get you through when motivation doesn't. Motivation is never going to be there when you actually need it. Motivation always fades. We all know those moments where it's like 1 a.m, we're on Pinterest or we're looking at things online and we're like, I'm going to change my life tomorrow. I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to go to a yoga class, or I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna have a green juice and blah blah blah. Like, we all have those spur of the moment times throughout our life, and that is literally like those bursts of motivation that we get. But it's really about having the discipline that is going to get you to where it is that you want to be. So rely on your habits, rely on your routines, rely on that versus your mood, because your mood is always going to change. There were so many times this week where I did not want to wake up early. I didn't want to go on a walk. I didn't want to do my work, but I was like, this is part of my life. Like, this is my routine. This is my habit. This is literally what I have to do to make a living. So I need to still show up anyway. And it does not mean that like you need to even do things through burnout, because trust me, like, you also need to give yourself time and space to breathe and think and be creative. But at the same time, like, if you don't feel like going to the gym, if you don't feel like clocking in or doing something, like, at the end of the day, do you always feel horrible afterwards? Like, no. When you go to a workout, you're never going to think afterwards, oh, I regretted that workout. When you post a TikTok or a YouTube video or wake up early to work on your business or whatever it is that you want to do, you never regret it afterward, because you're glad that you did it and you got something out. Like, earlier this week, I had posted my podcast episode a day late, which, if you guys didn't know, I have a podcast called Booked, Busy, and Building that is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but I also have a YouTube channel for it. So I edit the videos to also go live with the audios. And this week, I ended up posting it on Tuesday instead of Monday, because my Monday, I had like 8 meetings. It was crazy. My weekend was crazy. But on Tuesday, I stayed up a little bit later to make sure that the episode got uploaded so that people could listen to it the next day. So even though it was late and it wasn't on my typical day that I usually post it, I still stayed up even though I was tired, even though I knew I had to wake up early the next day because I needed to get it up. And that same week, which was literally this week, someone ended up posting my podcast on their Instagram, and it was like 6 a.m. They were listening to it in a Starbucks, and they were like listening to this podcast like early in the morning or something along those lines. And it just made me remember that like even when you don't think people are watching or supporting or listening, people are. So whether it is you're a content creator or a business owner, or whether you don't have anything that's public at all, you should always do it regardless, because you never know if like it's gonna benefit you later down the road, and you always are gonna feel good afterwards. And with me, with my podcast and all of my social projects, sometimes it feels like I'm just talking to myself and no one is watching or listening or supporting, but then I get that one comment or that one mention or that one thing on TikTok that makes me realize like people are supporting and I need to also keep up with that. So use that same momentum for yourself. Even if you don't feel like there's people around you that are supporting you or that are with you, know that you can be your number one fan and that I am your number one fan. I am out here waiting for you. So if you don't have anyone in your life physically to be that fan, I'm that person for you. So if you don't want to wake up or you don't want to do something, remember like you have somebody out there that is rooting for you. And I also recommend using the 5-minute rule. Like use 5 minutes throughout the day to just get random things done. Build up that momentum. Like if you don't want to fix your bed, if you don't want to take out your outfit, set a timer for 5 minutes. Let's see how much I can get done. Even set a timer for 10 minutes. Try to clean up random things around the house. Take out your outfit, put some shoes away. And also keep promises to yourself. The biggest reason why a lot of us don't succeed or even don't get things done is because we are constantly breaking promises to ourselves. We are not building that trust. We're not building that confidence. And when you don't keep these promises, the castle is just going to crumble. So I'm telling you, make sure that you are keeping this to yourself, because at the end of the day, you are doing these things for you. You're not doing it for your neighbor or your mom or your dad or your sister or your dog. You're not doing it for any of these other people or any of these other things. You are doing it for yourself. You're showing up for you. So keep doing that and keep that momentum up. Number 5 is surround yourself with the right energy. So I know this tip can be a little bit iffy because I definitely relate in terms of I don't really have immediate friends or an immediate circle that I can go to be my motivation or like my guide. I've always felt like growing up that I had to be my own number one fan. I never really felt like I had a best friend. I never really felt like I had a group that I can go to that was really trusting, or just anyone in general that can be like that person for me, except my sister. Like my sister is someone that is literally my ride or die, and I literally got a comment before that like the amount of times I talk about her, I know you guys are sick of her, but truly like she's definitely my best friend. And so if you don't have anybody in your life that can be that motivation or that accountability person or the person that can keep you going, it can be hard sometimes to be that person for yourself. So I really recommend finding that person online in a role model or in someone that you can look up to who is your influence, who is someone that you can look at them and say, if they did it, so can I. Like I have so many female founders and people in the business world and in the social media space that I look up to, and I'm like, if they were able to do it, so can I. I'm just a girl from New Jersey, from a small town that is somehow making my dreams come true and is somehow getting my name out there. But even though I didn't have anyone around me, I still used people online and their stories to get me to where it is that I want to be. So for example, I remember when I was in high school, like in the morning, I would listen to manifestation videos, or I would listen to the How I Built This podcast, and I would hear other people's stories of what they had to overcome, roadblocks, things that happened in their personal life, tragedies, traumas, and like how they moved past that and got to where they are today. And so I always use those stories. I always use those interviews and those podcasts or those books and audiobooks to remind myself, like, if I don't have anyone physically present, I have these things that I can rely on. If you do have people in your life that you feel like maybe you don't want to be spending as much time around them and you really want to focus your energy on more important things, limit that time. Like, you should not be around people or things that are going to drain you or that are going to distract you, because like I said before, you can have your fun time, you can have your rotting time on the couch, you can go out and enjoy with your friends. Like, I love to go out on weekends sometimes to do random things with my friends, but at the same time, like, I know the difference between what is taking my energy away, what friendship is costing way too much, and what should I be flipping around or changing. Like, there have been so many friendships that I've had that have truly drained me that I'm so glad that is not in my life anymore, and now I can focus on what actually matters. And because of that, I've gotten to where I am today. Like, I've known what is good for me and what isn't. Find new friends, find mentors, find people that can inspire you and really like motivate you to grow and want to be the person it is that you want to be. Curate your feed, unfollow people, remove people that are not making you feel good, and follow people that are going to motivate you, not distract you. Like, you should really also curate what it is that you are consuming and create more than you consume. Don't consume content that is negative or that is not going to make you feel good. Obviously, it's good to have like the little brain rot time and just look at things that are stupid. Like, I love stupid funny memes. Like, I literally will laugh at anything, but I also know like the difference between, okay, now I'm gonna rot for the next 20-25 minutes, but then during this other hour I'm gonna clock in and I'm gonna do my work. And you can also join a community or build your own community online of people that also want to get to a specific area or do a certain thing. Like, book clubs are a great example of that. It's a lot of people that love to read or that they want to start reading, and you have this community of readers and other people who you guys are all reading the same book together. You guys get to talk about it, or even you build a social media community. Like I said before, even though I've been able to build my own social media community online because I didn't really feel like I had that in person, I feel like I've been able to inspire other people as well to go out and make content. And when I go to events and stuff and people tell me like, your content has really inspired me or you have really helped me, that reminds me that even if one person says it, I am doing something right. So if you don't have a community or you feel like you need to build something of your own, go out and do that, or go out and find it, because I promise you it is out there. And if it's not, you can literally make it yourself. Number 6, which is the final tip for today's video, is visualize the bigger picture. And I feel like I have to make this the last tip because at the end of the day, it's not about how much money you make. It's not about the destination or any of the other things that we think are important, especially the materialistic stuff. At the end of the day, it is about the person that you are becoming throughout this journey, the things that you're learning, the lessons you're learning, the experiences, like all of these different things. It is really about that in the end. So think about the bigger picture. Like, even though you want to accomplish all of these certain things and you want all of these things to happen, also remember that you are becoming someone new throughout this process. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fast. It is going to take a while. So remember that, like, these temporary times where you have to do certain things even if you don't want to, or you have to clock in or wake up earlier or go to sleep later to do something, all of this stuff is temporary, but it is powerful. So picture, like, how would your life be in the end if you stay locked in until the end of the year? How would your life look in a few months or even a few years if you kept showing up every single day and kept doing the things that you keep putting off or that you keep giving yourself excuses for? Use vision boards, use affirmations, do journaling, manifest, like, listen to things and do things that are going to get you to where it is that you want to be. Because at the end of the day, you just have to stay focused on who it is you're becoming, not the results. The minute that you start looking at the end and how you start looking at, like, what are the things it is that I want? Like, how much money do I want? What designer bags do I want to get? What vacations do I want to go on? Like, all of those things are fun. It's great. It's a great add-on and it's a great reward. But the biggest reward is always going to be how you are changing every single day, how you are becoming 1% better. And there's this quote that I think I heard on TikTok, but it has really stuck with me, which is like, if you would not go back to the person that you were or your life a year ago because you like who you're becoming right now, then that is great progress. Like, that is growth, and it's something along those lines. But it's like, if you wouldn't go back to that version of yourself a few months ago, you are doing something right. And I always think about that with myself, which is like, even though I am so grateful for all the things that I've accomplished and all the things that I've learned and that I've done, I would not go back to that old version of myself because I love who I am today. I love the things that I've experienced. I love who I am becoming, and I'm just so proud of myself. And like, I could really just like tear up thinking about it because I have been through so many different things that like are not online and that are not shown, but I still show up every single day. I still do the thing, and I always think about like my younger self, the girl who was just making videos on her iPad, who discovered YouTube and started watching bloggers and all those kinds of things. And I think back to that younger version of myself and I'm like, I am so glad that decisions that I made years ago are now paying off. Like, me deciding to start posting on TikTok and start making YouTube videos, even though people in my hometown were going to talk about me, even though people were going to make fun of me and all these kinds of things. Like, I knew I was doing something and building something that was going to be bigger than me, and that was going to eventually get me to where it is that I want to be. And I also always remember too this quote, which was in Taylor Swift's commencement speech at NYU. I know that's so random, but my kind of like addiction is like listening to commencement speeches because they're so motivating. And one of my favorite ones is the Steve Jobs one at Stanford, but Taylor Swift did one at NYU, and one of the things that she says is that she would write songs in her room when she wouldn't get invited to things or wouldn't go out. That would be the ticket to get her to something later in life. Like, she would write these songs that were the ticket to get her out of where she currently was, and that always reminds me of literally what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm making YouTube videos, I'm doing TikToks, I'm writing my newsletter, I'm doing all of these things that are building my ticket and giving me my own lottery ticket to where it is that I want to be later down the road. And I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when these things are going to come true, but I'm going to keep doing it every single day because social media is literally like a lottery ticket. Like, you can post something every day and you never know what is going to be the thing that's going to blow up. But what you do now in your everyday routines and how you show up every day can be the thing to get you to where it is that you want to be. But remember, you are getting 1% better every single day. You should not be focusing on the end all. Be focused on who you are becoming and just becoming a better version of yourself, because you are already amazing. You're already great. So just keep going. That is all for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. This was honestly so fun to make, and I feel like we are all going to have a really great end of the year. So if you guys have any questions or there's anything that you want me to make videos about in this next quarter of the year, definitely let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!